planning on taking your English test but confused between CELPIP or IELTS? Well then by the end of this video, you will exactly know which one is better, easier and cheaper. If you are new to this channel, my name is Sitanya Sharma. I'm an HR officer turned entrepreneur, and I myself have given CELPIP and was able to score a 10 score, which is around 8.5 for IELTS in less than 7 days. So in this video, I'll be giving a comparison between IELTS and CELPIP, what are the pros and cons of each, and you'll be able to understand what's better for you. So let's start with the test format. IELTS, you can give it on paper format as well as online, but for CELPIP, it's only the online version that you can enroll for. Coming to the cost, yes, IELTS is expensive compared to CELPIP. For IELTS, you'll be paying $310 plus tax, but for CELPIP, you will be paying $280 plus tax, which means you'll be able to save for your Tim Hortons for the next 2 weeks. Wow, that's exciting. But talking about location, both of them have a lot of different locations that you can choose from, so you won't be having much issues finding a location which is closer to your house. Now let's break down all the 4 sections of the test. Number 1 is listening. For IELTS, it will consist of 30 to 35 minutes with 4 parts. Part 1 and Part 2 would be everyday social situations. Part 3 and 4 would be educational and training situations. And you will be hearing the recording from all the different accents all across the globe. But one benefit of IELTS is you will be able to answer while you are listening. And at the same time, you also get 10 extra minutes at the end of the listening part where you'll be able to jot down all these answers in the answer sheet. But here's the thing, most of these questions are not MCQ, so there is room to make mistakes, and Grammarly or ChatGPT is not coming to save us in the test. So if you make a mistake, you can lose some marks. Whereas this is one thing that I really like about CELPIP, because all the questions are MCQ. And the listening part in CELPIP is between 40 to 45 minutes with 6 sections. Number 1 is problem solving. Number 2 is daily life conversation. 3rd is informative. 4th is news item. 5th is discussion. And 6th is viewpoint. All the recording is in Canadian format. So if you're living in Canada from the past 2 to 3 years, it'll be easier for you to understand. But one downside of CELPIP is you only can answer these questions once you listen the whole one section of it. So you cannot answer while you are listening. But it's not that difficult. Next section is writing. For IELTS, it will be for 60 minutes with 2 parts. Task 1 is respond to a situation by writing a letter in between 150 words, for which you will have around 20 minutes. And task 2 is give a viewpoint or argument, for which you will have somewhere around 40 minutes, and you need to write something below 250 words. So the positive side of IELTS writing is there is no timer. You can divide your own time, how much time you want to spend on each of the tasks. But the negative side I feel is part 2, I personally found it to be a little more challenging compared to CELPIP. CELPIP also has 2 tasks in which number 1, you'll be writing an email, and second is you'll be responding to a survey. Definitely, both of these tasks are much more easier than IELTS, but one downside is they have a timer set to it. Both the tasks, for first one you get 23 minutes, and for the second one I think you get 27 minutes, and the moment the timer is gone, your work will be saved and you will be switched to the next question. You cannot go back. So that I feel is a little downside of it. You have to be really good with managing your time during an exam. The 3rd section is your reading part, which consists of 60 minutes. In IELTS, you'll get 3 paragraphs. Number 1 is going to be very simple, 2nd will be medium difficulty, and 3rd will be a little bit hard. Again, the positive side is there is no timer. You can spend as much time as you want. But I personally feel for reading, this is also a downside of it, because if you get stuck in your part 1, then it's going to mess up your whole exam. That actually happened with me when I was giving my IELTS for the very first time, and I literally had to retake just because I messed up my reading. Whereas on CELPIP, you'll have 4 paragraphs. Number 1 would be correspondence. Number 2 would be read to apply on a diagram. 3rd would be read for information. And 4th would be read for viewpoints. Positive side of it is all the questions are MCQ, so very less room to make mistakes. But again, for some people, the negative side can be the timer, because every section you get 12 to 15 minutes, and the moment time is passed, you have to move on to the next one. But trust me, it do sound scary, but it's actually not that difficult if you do enough practice. And the 4th section is your speaking part, and both of them will be consisting of 15 to 20 minutes. But one of the best things that I personally like about CELPIP speaking is you exactly know all the 8 questions that they're gonna ask you, in which number 1 will be giving advice, Number 2 would be talk about your personal experience. Number 3 would be describing a scene. Number 4 would be making predictions. Number 5 would be comparing and persuading. Number 6 would be dealing with difficult situations. 7 would be expressing your opinion. And last, describing an unusual situation. Literally all these questions comes line by line and you exactly know how to prepare for, and nothing will be coming as a surprise to you. Whereas on IELTS, you don't know who's your instructor is, what mood he or she is in, and what kind of questions they're gonna ask you. So that is something which I personally find it to be a little bit tricky. But again, for IELTS, majority of the time your test is on the next day. So you are more fresh and more relaxed when you're giving your speaking. Whereas in your CELPIP, all the 4 sections are done in the single session. So I personally found myself to be a little bit tired by the end of the exam. And maybe that's why I scored CLB 9 in it. Maybe I could have done better if it was the next day. But I don't know. I still found it much easier because I exactly knew what the next question will be. Now, based on all the information, I certainly believe CELPIP is a better exam compared to IELTS, because when I was giving IELTS for the very first time, it took me 3 attempts to get my 7.5 band. But when I was giving CELPIP, in less than 7 days, I was able to get CLB 10. Of course, I studied very hard in those 7 days. I practiced every single day, my writing part as well as my reading part. Listening and speaking was still okay, but I really spent a lot of my time preparing for my reading as well as my writing test. And guys, if you're not able to find enough material to prepare for CELPIP, because I understand there is not enough free material compared to IELTS, then don't worry, I'll be posting all of my resources, my sample answers in the next few days. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like this video so that you get all the information and the update whenever I post all these resources. And in the next upcoming videos, I will also be showing you how to improve your scores with the exercise that I'll be sharing with you for absolutely free. So I hope that helped you to choose and make a decision between which one to go for, CELPIP or IELTS. And if yes, I'll see you guys next week.